Recording. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Today is Sunday, September the 10th, and we are here gathered to talk about the new project that we've been talking about last week. And you're going to get to hear everything about it and how everything works from Jordan. But before I hand over the floor to Jordan, I just want to tell you a few things about Jordan and how this came to be. A while back, well, I've known Jordan for many, many, many years. He hasn't known me as many years because I don't take as big stages as he does. But one of the things that I love about Jordan is that Jordan has been with the same company, and he'll tell you his whole story, for a number of years. And what I love about what he has done is that he has created long-lasting success. And as some of you know, oh, and by the way, I am Maria Lupita, for those of you who may not know. And one of the things that I love about what I found with Jordan is that one day we were talking and I was telling him about what I was looking for. He's like, well, we do have daily pay, but I was like, you what? He's like, yeah, we pay daily. I was like, you have what? And, then I was just like, oh my gosh, if I could get, it's like the Costco membership, but not having to go anywhere, and actually made for the average person, because not everybody else can go and build a whole Costco kind of thing. So what I love about this is that there's many of you here today, because I'm not going to not acknowledge that there's many of you, because if you ask me, well, I already bought daily pay, what am I going to, like, no, this doesn't take away from your daily pay. This actually, as you have seen, many of you heard about this from my emails, and many of you got reminded about this from my email. So this actually complements your daily pay, which is our marketing system. But what this does, listen closely. Are you ready for this, Mikey? Listen really, really closely. What daily pay does is that it gives you big checks. But if you get a big check, you get a big check. If you get a big check, you get a big check. But if you don't get a big check, it really hurts. And that's what happened to me in August. When I was doing all this stuff and then I went through a transition in August, I got big checks. But then when I didn't get the amount of big checks that I was used to, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is painful. And then I looked at my bank at the beginning of September and I noticed one thing. There was one pattern that I had seen, that this other company had given me little tiny checks over and over and over and over throughout the days. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the power of passive residual income, because I had not touched this other company, my clients or my business partners in this other company, for at least 6 months. Yet the company continued paying me. And that is the beauty and the power of passive residual income. So if you are here and you have already purchased daily pay, do not worry. This is not going to take you away from daily pay. And if you bought any other kind of marketing software like Legendary Marketer or MRR, do not worry. It's not going to take away from that. But this is just simply going to complement everything that you are already doing, but it's going to give you the power of actually having passive residual income in a way that you have never experienced. And then after Jordan is done, I will answer any questions that are in regards to daily pay and everything else. So with that, Jordan, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know that you're super busy. On Friday, he was flying people to different places. So I'm just gonna be quiet like Craig Tallman, and I'm gonna give you the floor over to you. Thank you so much.
Super. Thank you, Maria. And I'm really excited to see what you're putting together. Maria is so talented. I know you all know that. And she's just a great coach and a great mentor. And so thanks for, and I'm business partners with her. We're building some fun things together. I'm going to share a little training with you. I'll tell you a little bit about my story, but I want to share some things that I learned on my journey building a business. I'll share a little bit about the business as well, so you can see what it is. But let me just go ahead and share my computer screen here, and so you can see what we're up to here. All right. So I was at a garage sale when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I don't remember, probably 20 years old. And I picked up a book at a garage sale called The 10 Napkin Presentations. It was called The Basics, The 10 Napkin Presentations by Don Fala. And it talked about residual income, and it talked about leverage. Now, I grew up in a working class family. My dad made $28,000 a year, and I had never heard the term residual income before, but I read the book and I got really excited and intrigued. And for the next 10 years or so, I started learning as much as I could about residual income. Never made a penny, my first 10 years. I signed up in 11 different network marketing companies, never had any success, never signed anybody up. And that was 10 years, 11 companies. I did go to events. I listened to some audios. I purchased books, racked up $36,000 in credit card debt over those 10 years on 22 credit cards. At the age of 34 years old, I was living in this rental. My bedroom was that garage there on the left. And I had a job at an airline. Again, I'd never made money as an entrepreneur, but I'd been working jobs, and most of my jobs paid me under 20 grand a year. When the airline filed bankruptcy, they cut my pay from $28,000 a year to $14,000 a year. And my rent was $200 a month. I had a Jeep that was broken down in the street. It had been broken down for 2 years because I couldn't afford to fix it. And I was pretty stressed out and pretty scared. And I joined my 12th network marketing company, and I finally figured out the fundamentals. And I'm so grateful that I stuck with it and that I didn't quit. I didn't give up on my dream because by my 33rd month in my 12th company, my income started to go up. And since 1996 now, I've had a very large residual income that if I want to take time off for months, my income continues to come in, whether I go to work or not. And so that's the power of residual income. I'll share some of the things that I learned along the way that helps me to achieve this, that you can apply to any business. And you may or may not know, if you were on early in our conversation, we were talking about flying helicopters. I had a dream to fly helicopters, but never had the budget. It's very expensive. And when I started making money, I was standing in my condo in Las Vegas, looking out on the Vegas Strip, watching these helicopters giving tours. And I thought to myself, that would be really cool to be able to, take my friends up in a helicopter and fly them around Vegas. And so I went online and I found a helicopter school, and I went in there and I did a discovery flight for $300 and got to learn about it. And I said, you know what, I want to do this. And so at the age of 57 years old, I went to get my helicopter pilot's license. And I'm going to tell you some things that I learned on the journey. Okay, what's going on now? Oh, there we go. There we go. So we're going to talk about how to fly. And taking on a big dream is the best path to rapid and personal professional growth. As soon as you adopt a big dream as your own. So that's the first thing, is you want to have a big dream and you want to adopt it as yours and make it personal so that it's something that's really meaningful and important to you. It doesn't even matter if you believe if it's possible at the beginning. The most important thing is to write it down and then massage it and make it real. I'm going to talk about 10 lessons on learning to fly. And flying a helicopter and flying in business and life are the same thing, same principles. The first one is investment. I had to invest $75,000 in about 150 hours to be able to enjoy the dream. Just like you have to invest in your personal business, your personal development, your in events and tools and anything else that the programs, the coaching programs that you invest in, that's part of your journey. In order for me to live the dream of flying a helicopter, I had to make a significant investment. This was by far the hardest thing that I ever learned to do in my entire life. There were hundreds of times along the way that I was 100% convinced that I couldn't do it. But I kept coming, I kept showing up. And that's the important thing as well, is to keep showing up. The second thing is sacrifice. I had to make sacrifices, and you'll need to make your business a priority over other things. And other things in your life, things like television and, all the stuff that you do. Sometimes those things need to take a back seat for a while until you're fully up and running. For me, I had to give up TV completely. I gave up TV for 25 years, actually. Didn't turn on the TV for 25 years, didn't have a TV for probably 15 of the 25 years. I had a TV in a closet in this home here that had been sitting in there for 10 years, and I finally gave it to Goodwill. Third thing is fears. I had to face my fears. And I know that your fears feel real. There was probably not a day that I didn't go to the school, that I went to the school, that I didn't feel extreme fear. But I knew that I had to get through that if I was going to take my friends up in the helicopter and enjoy the dream of flying helicopters. And everyone feels it. And it's the same in your business. But the more you practice, the more confident you become. And there's just no way around it. It is, as long as you keep doing the work, even if it's out of your comfort zone and you're fearful, If you keep doing the work, eventually you get on the other side of those fears as your confidence grows. The fourth thing is practice. I had to practice the fundamentals in the air and in motion over and over and over again. So in other words, I could never learn the helicopter in a classroom. I had lots of classroom time, but until you actually get in the helicopter and hold the controls and actually have your ass saved over and over again by your instructor, my 23-year-old instructor, Travis, he probably saved me 1,000 times, where I would have crashed the helicopter if he had not grabbed the controls from me. Dual controls. And if you you have to practice in real life, not just practicing in the classroom, with real potential customers, with real affiliates, to allow you to really master the skills. The fifth one is solo. At some point, I had to do it on my own. I can remember my second instructor, Tammy Gillette. We were flying around. I'd been flying for probably a year. I still didn't have my license. I'd still never flown the helicopter on my own. I was afraid of that day. She said to me, "You're ready." And I'm like, "I'm ready? Ready for what?" She goes, "You're ready to fly by yourself." So she says, "Land the helicopter." I land the helicopter. She gets out. She said, "Now go do 3 patterns," without her in it, without her there to save me. It's all me for the first time. And I did it. And I was successful and it felt great. Doing it on your own can be scary the first few times, but it's the only way to get really good. You can't always depend on your mentor. You can't always depend on somebody there to hold your hand. At some point, you need to solo. The sixth one is fundamentals. And there's things that you can't train for. So you learn the basics over and over and over and over again. And then when you go and do the actual thing, you're going to get served lots of twists and turns, but the fundamentals carry the day. It's learning the basic principles and the fundamentals of marketing. And once you've got those, then you just have to go and do the work. And you can acquire those very quickly. A lot of times people use the excuse of, "I still have to learn a bunch of stuff before I can do the work." And that's just not true. Maria just jumped in with both feet. She didn't like wait till she knew everything. She just started doing the work and made mistakes and fumbled through things and tried to figure stuff out. And every time she does it, she gains her confidence and she gets better. Number 7 is growth. I had to be bad before I could be good. And it's okay to be bad. Each time you do it, you get better without even knowing it. Honestly, there were times when I was in the helicopter over and over and over and over again where I would be saying to myself, "There's no way I'm ever going to be able to do this." Because I was so like hovering the helicopter was a perfect example. It takes many hours of practice to learn to hover a helicopter. That's just like holding it in one place 8 feet off the ground. You've seen how helicopters hover. Well, the first 20 times you do it, your instructor will tell you, well, what my instructor said to me, "Jordan, if you can keep it within a football field, I'll buy you a pizza." And every time he would give me the controls, the helicopter within a quarter of a second was completely out of control. And he would save me by grabbing the controls and steadying the helicopter. And it looks so easy, but it's not easy. And then one day you just get dialed in. It just all of a sudden, can you let Dawn in there, Maria? Dawn's waiting in the waiting room. The 9th one, what happened here? Growth. Let me go back. I think I missed the slide. Where are we at? Let's see here. Sacrifice, fears, practice, solo, fundamentals, growth, and faith. Number 8 was faith. I had to trust and I had to have faith. I had to trust my instructors and others that had gone before me. Others have gone before you. There's thousands of people that have made money in online marketing, in digital marketing. And if you haven't made money yet, you just have to have faith that others have done it and they'll teach you how to do it. And then number 9 was dream. And I talked a little bit about this. Living your dream is fun and it's way better than you can even imagine. It's worth it. So today, when friends come to town, I took somebody up, couple of guys up a couple of days ago, some friends, business partners. They were in town and one of them had never flown in a helicopter before. The other one had only flown once in a helicopter. And I gave him an experience of flying over Vegas. We flew for about 40 minutes around Vegas and had a blast. Now, number 10 is recovery. This is a big one. I had to learn to bounce back. My crash nearly took me out. I had to get back up on the horse. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to get into some tools and some things, some exciting things. So I decided I wanted to buy a helicopter, and I hired a broker. I found a helicopter. From the time I found the helicopter to the time I soloed in it was almost a year. And I had to, put some seats in it, some certified seats in it. I had to get some radios. I had to have it disassembled and shipped across the country. I had to take lessons down in Texas on this particular piece of equipment. And I got my helicopter. I soloed in it one time. It was incredible. And I met this guy months prior that was introduced to me by a friend. And he told me that he was a commercial pilot and that he has thousands of hours and he flies every week. And I knew a lot of the people that he knew, and everybody knew him as a commercial pilot. Well, turns out he had never flown in his life. But we went in my helicopter. It has dual controls, and we were hovering, and I turned the controls over to him, knowing that he had many, many, many more years of flying than I had, and that he owned two of the same. He said he owned multiple helicopters and that he had a maintenance facility with mechanics and all this. Well, this is the actual flight of me and him in the helicopter. Right there, I turned the controls over to him. So right now he has the controls, and that's a fuel tank. The fuel thing, we hit 150-gallon fuel tank. You'll spray, and then that's a fuel cart. And there was a piece of the helicopter. It shattered into a million bits, and there was a piece of the helicopter that actually flew through a car in the parking lot. And so I had some PTSD from it. There were paramedics were there. The FAA was there. The NTSB was there. There were news choppers overhead. It was on the news. And we stepped out of the wreckage virtually unscathed. He ran off, and the FAA chased him for 5 weeks, and they finally got him in the office. And if you go on YouTube when you get a chance and pull up fake helicopter pilot crashes helicopter, all the accident reports are on there. You can read his handwritten report. You can read my report, and you can see all the documentation of what happened. But the bottom line was, I didn't tell anybody about this, but everybody saw it on the news. My name was never mentioned on the news. My friends for a number of weeks did not even know that I crashed a helicopter, because I didn't want to tell anyone. Because I was afraid I was never going to be able to take anybody up again. And so finally I did make a video and put it online. And so, to tell everybody what happened. But they told me after a 1-year investigation, they were going to arrest him. And then 2 days later, because it is a felony, 2 days later, the pandemic hit, and they shut the FAA investigative offices. And for 2 years, he was just out there. And then when they reopened and I contacted them, said there's nothing to do. He owned nothing. He didn't own helicopters. He'd never flown in his life. He'd never taken the controls of a helicopter in his life. He didn't even own the car that he drove. And he was down and out, but he was a liar, and everybody believed him, including the pilots and the mechanics at the airport. So I had to bounce back. And so on December 23rd, 2019, that's my first flight after the crash. And I've probably flown now 60 times since the crash. So you're going to get knocked down. I don't care who you are. You're going to get knocked down hard in your business. There's going to be times where you're going to be perfectly justified to quit. Like the rationale for quitting will be there, and if you quit, there'd be nothing wrong with that, because like I could have quit after that crash and everybody would have understood I was in a crash. My helicopter was destroyed, right? But I decided that I went back to my dream. And even though I was scared out of my mind, I got my instructor who owns this school. I actually got my instructor to come with me, and I did everything, and I was fine after that flight. But it was terrifying for the first time. It's out of my comfort zone. And now everything's good, so I don't have any fear, zero fear around flying helicopters now. So anyway, so there was a point, I'm going to go way back now to when I was in my 30s, living in that rental that I showed you in the garage. And that's not me, but that's how I felt. And there were railroad tracks behind my house. I worked for an airline at the time. My pay was $14,000 a year. I was very depressed. I'd never had success in any business. I'd been in a bunch of businesses, hadn't made any money. And one night on a cloudy, rainy night, I walked the railroad tracks for about 5 hours. It was a chilly night. The wind was blowing sideways and there was rain coming down. And I remember being extremely depressed because I'd been working businesses for all these years, made no money. And the next day I decided I was going to take the day off work and ask if I could use my past benefits to go to the Grand Canyon. So I flew to the Grand Canyon. I got a little journal. I went out into the forest and I found a big oak tree in the forest and I sat down and I started writing the story of my life in the present tense as if it had already happened. And this is something that probably only 1% of entrepreneurs 1% of entrepreneurs do. The ones that are successful, probably 80% of them do it. I wrote down my future in the present tense as if it had already happened. And I started filling the pages. Well, it got cloudy. It started to rain. It got cold. It's in the mountains at the Grand Canyon. I grabbed that journal and I put it up against my chest. I was writing with a blue felt tip pen. And I walked back towards the rim of the canyon and I found the Bright Angel Lodge and I went inside the lodge and there was a big fire in the fireplace. And I sat down on some colorful cushions and I continued to write. And for the next few hours, I wrote the story of my life in the present tense. And then what happened was I went back and I went into my little garage where there was a nightstand, which was 2 cinder blocks and a piece of plywood. And I put that journal on the top there. And every night before I'd go to bed, I'd read 2 or 3 pages from the journal of what I had written. And after a whole year, nothing had happened. And I took the journal, I was discouraged. I took the journal and I threw it in the closet. It landed on the top of an open box. And 3 years later, I'm moving into my dream home in the mountains of Arizona, in the forest with this big wraparound deck and trees coming up through the deck and wildlife and big cathedral windows. I'm moving into my dream home and I'm with my girlfriend and we're opening boxes. And I open this one box and sitting on the top of the box is that journal. 3 years later, I open it up. I start going page by page. I got chills. I started to get a little choked up because everything in that book had come to fruition. Everything in that book had manifested. So that journal. So this is an exercise that I recommend you all do, is write out your future, your dreams in the present tense. Even if it's just a couple of pages, read it for a while and then throw it to the side. And your God-given subconscious mind will go to work and it will find solutions that you can't find on your own. And so this is kind of what my life looks like today. I like little exotic sports cars. That's one of my sports cars at the top there. The helicopter, of course. And, I love the beach. I wrote a book called Beach Money. It became a bestseller. It sold over 1 million copies. If you haven't read Beach Money, I recommend it. It's a fun book to read. So here's my numbers for one of my current businesses. This is my biggest business right now, but I have many businesses, but this is my biggest business. I've done 5,000 presentations in 18 years. That's an average of 1 presentation per day. If that was my job and I only gave 1 presentation per day, I would lose my job. But over the past 18 years, I've given an average of 1 per day. And a result of that is 600 personal distributors. This is a network marketing structure. That's 1 in 9. That means for every 1 yes I got, I would receive 8 no's. So I got 4,400 no's, 4,400 people that either disappeared or said they weren't interested or they said it was a scam or whatever, 4,400. But I signed up 600 and have earned over $17 million in income from this one business. 95% of my income comes from 8 of my personal 600. So 8 of the 600 have actually produced. The other ones have either quit or become customers. And I'm not a master distributor. I was never given anything. This was built from the ground up. So let's talk about residual income a little bit. This is why I love residual income. And most digital marketers don't get residual income. Some do, but most don't. Residual income pays you over and over again for working one time, which means that the work you do today continues to pay you tomorrow, next month, the month after, next year. So you can stack your income. So you keep getting checks over and over again, which means the work you continue to do is added to the checks that you're already getting. So over a period of time, say 3 years, you've got a residual check that maybe it'll cover your bills at some point. Gives you freedom. Once your bills are paid each month, whether you go to work or not, you've got freedom. And your money comes back. When you spend $100, you know that $100 is coming back next month. Versus most businesses, you make a check, you spend $100 and then you got to go work again to get that $100 again. And it's like money in the bank. So if you got a $10 a month residual, or if your interest payment on a principal amount was $10 a month, meaning that every single month you got $10, that's a residual that's equivalent to saving $2,400, assuming you're getting 5%, if you can even get that. Banks don't pay anywhere near 5%. But if you're getting 5%, which is a high interest rate that could be safe, 5%, that's high. You'd have to save $2,400 to receive a $10 a month check. So if you're making $20 a month, that's like saving $4,800. If you're making $100 a month, that's like you saved $24,000. Your residual check at $100, it's easier to create a $100 a month residual check than it is for most people to save $24,000. And so that's why I love residual income. If you can put in 5 hours and you can find one other person that can put in 5 hours, you get to benefit from 10 hours worth of work a week, but you're only getting 5. Now, I do want to say this. Some of you are really opposed to network marketing, and that's fine. You don't even have to build a network marketing company to have a residual check, because if you have a product that sells that creates a residual check because of a subscription, then you could just keep adding customers and eventually you'll have a residual check. People often ask Barbara Walters how she got so many coveted interviews, and part of her success was just doing some simple things. One simple thing, actually, a thing that any one of us can do. You know what I got to do here real quick? Hang on just a second here. I need to do something. Do that, go back here, and go back here. Okay. So she wrote notes, and not just thank you notes after her interviews, which she did, but she also took notice of noteworthy people in the news. And if she saw in Variety magazine that an actor or an actress was chosen for an upcoming role, she sent them a note congratulating them on being chosen, telling them that they'd be fabulous in the role and wishing them good luck at the box office. And when the movie came out, who do you think got the call to interview them? It was Barbara Walters. And so Barbara, that's what she would do. She would send notes and cards because, as I've always said, it's never just a card. Their social media tells them what to send them. So when you look at somebody's social media, you will see the things that are important to them. And when you send something to them in the mail, that creates an alliance with them. And the people that are most successful in business, in any business, are the ones that have created strong alliances, strong partnerships with other people. And so it's one thing to make money. It's another thing to create joint ventures and build your social capital with people. And so one of the things that Maria posted today, which I really loved, was, how do you know that they're going to think of you first? Like, how do you know that you're the one they're going to think of when they're ready to pull the trigger, when they're ready to take action? What are you doing to ensure that? So I'm going to give you some examples here in a minute, but there was somebody talking negatively about me on the internet about 15 years ago. This was when this strategy was like it wasn't used very often. Today it's used all the time. But people will post negative things to drive traffic to their website, especially with people that get a lot of clicks on their name. So someone's talking negatively about me and I wasn't happy about it. They weren't saying anything specific. These are people that really, this is a guy that didn't know me. He would say, I don't know who this guy Jordan Adler is, but if I were you, I'd stay far away from him. And I didn't like that. I went to a friend of mine who's an attorney and I said, what can we do to get this off the internet? And he said, well, we'll certify a letter. It'll be $250. We'll threaten him and he'll pull it down. And I wanted to sleep on it. So I slept on it that night. And the next morning I got up and I said, you know what? I'm going to jump on my send out card system. I'm going to find a card in the card catalog. I'm going to type a message in there and I'm going to put a Starbucks card in there. And I'm going to tell the guy I want to buy him coffee and we can kick some marketing ideas around. So I created a card in my app, which I'll show you here in a minute, that goes in the mail, but I did it in my app. And I added a Starbucks card. And in the card, I said, Jason, you don't know me, but you're writing negative stuff about me on the internet. I would love to buy you coffee on me. Let's get together and kick some marketing ideas around. So instead of sending a $250 letter from an attorney, I sent a card and a Starbucks card that cost me less than $10, including shipping. Well, I went to his site about 10 days later. He pulled down all the negative stuff, everything. And he put in big letters. He photographed this card and put it on his website. And big letters underneath, he said, Jordan Adler is the smartest marketer I've ever met. And so that was because of a card that I sent. This is one example. Now, that wasn't the end of the story, because he found out what I did, and he decided that he could market the crap out of what we've got, this. And so he said, I'll sell this like crazy. Well, he became our top recruiter for the next 3 years, drove thousands and thousands of customers into my organization. And as a result of that, for the past 15 years or so, I've received about $50,000 a year in passive residual income as a result of this one move that I made 15 years ago. And he joined us and he built a business. Now, what I'm going to show you on the right is a very quick demo of the app, so you can see how it works. And I'm going to narrate it as we go. So here we go. So I go to the Send Out Cards app, and it's got thousands of cards in it. You pick your category, and you pick a card. You find a card. There's thousands of cards. Anywhere you see a photo, you can drop your own photo in. So I'm going to pick this card right here. And if you look at the bottom, any card can be sent as a flat card, a 2-panel, a 3-panel, or a postcard. Now I'm going to drop another photo in there. I'm not going to send it with this photo. I'm going to drop a photo of myself and Amanda, new woman that I met recently. And I'm going to add some color on the left-hand panel. And on the right-hand panel, I'm just going to type a message to her. And I'm going to highlight what I wrote. And then I'm going to click on the toolbar down below and pick a font. And then I'm going to change the color of the font. Amanda, thank you for the magic moment. Maybe you did. Oh, we'll go back here. There we go. I really have no expectations. I just love spending time with you. You make me laugh and make my heart beat a little faster. You're thoughtful, extremely intuitive, and lots of fun. We do have something special. And then, so this is the card. And then you hit create order, and you can add a gift if you want to. There's hundreds of gifts to choose from. You can add a Starbucks card if you want to. You can add an American Express gift card. Or you could add a gift. We've got hundreds of gifts as well. You click the 3 little dots and you've got categories. So you could drop some brownies, Mrs. Fields cookies. There's baby gifts, all kinds of different things in there. So now I'm going to select a contact. I'm going to pull up Amanda's address. We have ways of getting people's addresses as well. And then if you can see down below, I continue. You notice the card cost is 0. I'll tell you that later, what that means. When I submit, that's at the post office the next morning. I hit the send button, I'm done. It's at the post office the next morning. So we have a special offer right now. It's $20 one time. You get a full account with all the thousands of card designs. You get a full CRM. You get the campaign set up. You get 10 cards and 10 stamps included. And I'm going to include Maria's QR code there. If you want to try it, it's just $20 to set it up. And you get a full account, and that account's good forever. You get 10 cards and 10 stamps. You have 20 days to use it. You load the app, log in, you're good to go. So you can predict the future of someone's income by looking at the size of his or her Rolodex. And most of you know what a Rolodex is. If you're under 40, you might not, but that's what they look like. And we used to use those. Now our Rolodex is in our phone and on our computer, but it's no different. It's the most successful people in business are the people that have the biggest Rolodex by far. I guarantee you, Alex has a bigger Rolodex than any one of us. And that's why he's one of the reasons why he's so successful. Actually, yeah. So now there's lots of different creative ways. We teach these to use the system. You can use it for marketing. Although anything that you use that has an offer on it, any card that you send that has an offer or a discount or a advertisement of any way will end up in the trash. But when you make it personal, especially you create a list of people that are really influential that you want to be connected to, and people that you are connected to that you want to build a relationship with. Maybe you know who they are, but they don't know who you are. You can go on social media and find things that are important to them, like their new puppy, like grandma turned 100, like they just took their family to Disneyland, whatever it is. You send them a card with a photo on the front of the card, maybe with a frame, a $15 frame. They will shout you out on Instagram and TikTok. They'll shout you out. I get shouted out daily. I got shouted out 22 times today because I send cards like this. So imagine if this was one of the daughter of one of your clients. Watch this.
For some reason, I don't have sound.
What? You don't have sound?
Huh.
But you don't have, Maria?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to fix that. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, because I love the
All right,
sound. On
oh yeah, I needed to have sound. Let me try it again here. Okay, see her right now?
I can see her.
You can see her? Okay, good.
There we go. I can hear it.
How do I? Oh. It's mine! This is where my picture should be. That's me! Can you see me? I look beautiful! And then there's my two prizes. My brownies.
What do you say?
Thank you a lot! I'm not sharing those with anybody. Not even my brother. Not even my mom. Not even my dad.
So I will tell you something. If you send that to somebody, you will own them. You'll own them for life. So this is a daughter of a couple that, and this is going to sound outrageous, what I'm going to tell you guys right now, but this one relationship has led to $250 million in sales to our company. The one relationship, it's the parents of this girl. And I'm Uncle Jordan to her. I send her birthday cards every year. I send her family cards when they take vacations. Their sons play baseball. I take pictures of their son, JJ, on the pitcher's mound, and I send it to them. And, I can do it from my phone in a matter of seconds. So for $20 one time, you can have the #1 relationship marketing app on the planet. And I just encourage you to take the 10-card challenge. If you don't have somebody's address, just send them a quick message and say, hey, I need your mailing address. I want to mail you something. That's for people that you know, right? People that you know. And most of you know, if you're in business, you probably know a couple hundred to 1,000 people. If you don't know a couple 100,000 to, if you don't know 100 people to 1,000 people, or a couple hundred people to 1,000 people, you need this system. Because if you're going to be successful in business, you need to know a lot of people, and you need to build relationships with a lot of people. So I'm in the final stretch here. I'll make sure there's time for questions at the end. But our entry level is the $20. $20 one time, 10 cards and 10 stamps for 20 days. You get the full send out cards experience, all the bells and whistles. And then if you're an affiliate with us, which is just $14 a month to be an affiliate, if you are an affiliate, you get $10 off that 20 and then residuals on top of that, because after they send their 10 cards, many of them want to continue to use it. And as they continue to use it, you're getting residuals off card packages and off gifts and everything else. So the $20 is the entry point. It's the gateway drug. It gets somebody set up in the business. And then there's an upgrade path. One direction is to the $37 a month program where they get 20 cards and 20 stamps per month. That pays you a residual of 20%. And you also get a 20%, they get a 20% discount on the gifts. Again, you make 20% per month and you make 10% per month on gifts. So it's a royalty income that you don't have to learn to be an actor. You don't have to film movies, and you get a royalty every month. And then there's another upgrade path to $97 a month. That's the one I'm on. And that's the reason my card was free. When you saw on my screen, it showed 0 for the card and 0 for the stamp, because I can send unlimited personal cards anywhere in the world, including postage. Now that's for individual cards. So I could do 3 of those a day, 5 of those a day, 10 of those a day, but every card needs to be unique and only going to one person. If you're sending to groups of people, which you can do, you get that part of the system is the campaign. Those cards cost $1.50 plus the stamp, unless you buy a package. We've got some big packages that can lessen the cost of your cards. You get a 30% discount on the gifts when you're on the $97 plan, and you make 20% per month and 10% on the gifts. We also have a package, which is a $1,500 value, over $1,500 value. We have it discounted right now to $497, and then it's $97 a month for the unlimited plan. It gives you the full experience, including a virtual assistant that will help you get your brand set up on the back of the card. You get a coach to help you learn different ways to use the system. You get an online training program, a 90-minute training that teaches you how to maximize the principles of relationship marketing. And you get tickets to one of our live trainings, which happen 4 times a year at our corporate headquarters. You get the full campaign store. And then if you sell one of these $497 packages, you make $125 plus residuals on cards and gifts. So again, though, the entry level is just that everybody should at least try it. I really, if you're in business, I recommend, there's no excuse. It's $20, right? It's like, there's nothing to lose. I really recommend at least trying it, sending a couple cards out. I think you'll find that it'll be the most valuable app on your phone once you start using it. The affiliate opportunity works like this. It's $14 a month. You just upgrade from your $20 account. You just click the button that says become an affiliate. You get all the company back office support. You get the full commission program. You have the duplication opportunity if you choose to capitalize on that. And then you get a marketing app called Promptings Pro. That's what's on the right, is Promptings Pro. And so Promptings Pro is an app that has all of our assets, and you get your own personalized landing pages that you send out from the app. This is the example card challenge that you can send to people, and it's connected to you right from the app that you get with the $14 a month. There's many assets in there, including PDFs and many videos, but this is the one that focuses on the 10 card challenge. If you have any questions, you can ask Maria or you can text me. There's my cell number, and would really be excited to work with you on this. So I'm going to stop there. I can always talk. I'm going to show you one more slide. This is Joe Girard. Joe's in the Guinness Book of World Records. He recently passed away, but he has the record for selling the most cars of any salesman in history, not just car sales, but #1 salesman in history, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. He's in there 12 years in a row, averaged 6 cars per day for 13 years, 100% by referral. And what Joe did, he wrote a book called How to Sell Anything to Anyone. And throughout his book, he talks about what he did with cards. And what he would do is every time he'd meet somebody, he'd send them a card, but he wouldn't just send them one card. He'd send them a card every single month for as long as he knew you. So you'd get a card saying, hey, it was nice to meet you, signed Joe. The next month, you'd get a card saying, you know what? I like you, signed Joe. The third month, you get a card saying, I haven't seen you in a while. Stop in and say hi, signed Joe. Then you get a Valentine's Day card, and you get a Christmas card, and you get a Thanksgiving card. This is what he did. Now, he couldn't handwrite all these cards himself. So what he did is he hired a team of people that he paid. He had 14 people that sent out thousands of cards for him. That's all they did all day long, was write cards for him. And every single person he sold a card to, any person he met, would receive a card a month. But here's what happened. Now, I'm not suggesting that you send everyone you meet a card a month, although you could do that. But what happened with Joe is if you needed a car and you were getting cards from Joe, the first person you would think of was Joe. If your daughter or son needed a car, or if you were going to sell a car, you're like, Joe's going to give me a good deal. And so Joe, this is what people got from Joe. Joe cares about me. I trust Joe. Joe will give me a good deal. And so the thing that made Joe what he was, one of the things was these cards that he sent out. So that's just an example. So I'm going to stop there. That gives us 15 minutes to do questions. And I'm going to turn it back over to Maria now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. That was phenomenal. As always.
We covered a lot of ground. We covered a lot of ground in 45
really
minutes
fast. There. Really fast. Well, does anybody have any questions? No questions? I'm shocked.
Wow, that means I did it. That means I hit everything, right?
I know.
Either you're not interested at all, or I hit everything. Which is it?
Exactly. So no questions from anybody? Natalie, this is your time.
Just unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. Thank you, Mary. You love the story of Joe. You know, you should read his book. Is amazing, and it's easy, really easy read. It's called How to Sell Anything to Anyone by Joe Girard, and you'll learn a lot from it. It's fundamentals. There's obviously a lot of old school stuff in there because he's an old guy, but it's fundamentals. just about how to treat people.
Nothing wrong with some of the old ways. Some of the old ways are good ways.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Well, speaking about some of the
Natalie's
old
trying. Natalie has a question. Natalie, put your question in chat because she has a question and she can't unmute.
So let me address something for the affiliates of this room, because some of you are private messaging me, and then some of you are actually asking. So just like I am a female and I'm also my mom's daughter, right? I'm not gonna stop being a female because I'm a mom's daughter. I'm both, right? So Send Out Cards in the company Promptings is a network marketing company, but it's also an affiliate program company. So you don't have to do one or you don't have to do one and the other. You can do one or the other, right? So you can either take what we're doing with this is that because many of you here are affiliate marketers and you're familiar with daily pay, then one of the things that we are doing is that we're not doing the multi-level marketing side or the MLM side. So just relax. Just relax. This is okay. You're not gonna go have to call all your friends and family. You're not gonna have to go make a list of anything. You're still gonna use the same system that we have been using. You're still gonna be using the same blueprint that we're used to using. So as you know, many of you here I've never even met, right? I've never even talked to you, and because you OGK, because I can't even see your picture. I don't even know what you look like, because all I know is that you got my emails and that you said I'm coming, right? So that's all I know. So this is the proof for all of you here. If you're wondering if this is MLM, yes, it is MLM. This is why this man, Jordan Adler, has made millions of dollars, because he leveraged the power of one to many and leveraging multi-level marketing. But as affiliate marketers in today's world, we can use our digital marketing experience and systems that we have to leverage the power of a company that is almost a 20-year-old company, and that you can actually leverage residual passive income. So if that clears it for all of you who are messaging me and private messaging me, let me know. Dean, does that clarify it for you? I'm not able. Dean is coming from where is that, Don? Don Nemhard? I always forget it's where it's like all ocean.
He's from Turks and Caicos, I think.
Malta?
No, which one did you say, Don?
He's in the Caribbean. Turks and
Caribbean.
Caicos, I think.
Yeah, the Caribbean.
Turks and Caicos. I was Dean, I was there actually right during the pandemic, right at the beginning of the pandemic. I actually got there, and we had just an incredible time when we were there. Just one of my favorite trips ever. And we were in a 14,000 square foot home up on a bluff looking down over the coral reefs. It was part of an investment. That home was in an investment that I had, and I had 10 of my friends with me, and we just had, oh my God, we had a good time. So let's see. I did want to say that having Send Out, they are extremely high quality. Thank you, Craig. Craig says you might look in the comments there. You can read Craig's comment.
So Craig is asking, so what are some examples of numbers of cards going out to income earned?
What does that mean? Oh, like how many cards do your customers have to send for you to make money? Is that what he's asking, you think?
Is that what I think Craig just wants to know, like, what amount of cards you would have to send, and for those who are affiliates in the room, let me put it to you really simple. You make $10 on every sale, but once somebody gets into Send Out Cards, what my experience was at the beginning of September was that everybody that I enrolled in the program stayed in the program. And I never even talked, I never did a live, I never did emails. I never sent them anything except that I set them up at the beginning months ago, over 6 months ago, for them to be able to utilize this program. So at the beginning, everybody's going to enroll for a $20 program. And then after that, most people like Law upgraded to the $37 program. Several of you have already upgraded because you guys already send out your 10 cards. So most people that enrolled last week for the $10 pack already upgraded. So with that being said, or correct question, you just have to divide it. If you want to make $7,000, if you want to make $5,000, divide it by 10. And the secret to this is that you're just looking for customers. You're just looking for clients that want to utilize the power of sending out cards. Okay.
You are so good. That was such a great explanation. So great.
Well, I know my people.
Yeah, most people, they'll receive emails from us. And they'll find an upgrade path. Most people, if they want to continue to use it, it makes sense for them to upgrade because they're going to save money when they do, if they're going to continue to use it. Some people just use it once in a while. They want to send out their Christmas cards and they're going to send out 200 cards over the holidays. Some people will use it once or twice a month, but some people want to use it daily. And the ones that are using it daily, and we've got, I'll just use Gettle Air Conditioning. The owner of Gettle Air Conditioning, when they were very, very small, signed up many years ago. They sent $80,000 worth of brownies to their employees. They've got over 1,000 employees. And they sent $80,000 worth of brownies to their employees this past Christmas. And that paid a 10% commission check to the person who signed them up on the gift. And then they made 20% on the card. So they probably received probably a $10,000 check from that sale, from that one send.
And in addition to what Jordan is saying, one of the things that you want to consider that there's never been a better time for you to implement something like this to complement, not to take away from your daily pay or your digital marketing business, because the holidays are coming. Whether you like it or not, the holidays are coming, and there's many people that are wanting to send cards. Now, you may not be the person that send our cards, although you should rethink that. Because once you start seeing the power of people actually receiving cards, I mean, there's people like me that send cards to people that are celebrities, that people that are well-known people in the industry. Like I send cards to billionaires, and it does leverage you in a way that you would not have leverage. Now, for those of you who also have clients with daily pay, you get the address. Whenever somebody purchases from you, if you're paying attention, you get the address for every single person that has ever purchased from you. So imagine if you actually send them a thank you card. And for Dean's question, yes, you can actually do it on Canva, or you can do it in any app that you like, and then put all the customized cards. So you can do it in the way that you put your own card. And the way that I like, the way Jeremy explains it, Dean, is that you actually get paid to actually have people keep your business card, except because it looks pretty on the front and it has a picture of them, then they actually keep your card, your business card, except that it looks like a greeting card. And then for someone like Sarah Blakely, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Canva, you can use Canva or any of those. There's a great one called Photofunia, where it's just an app where you can use the free templates on the phone. But we have templates in the system as well. So there's hundreds of templates that you can use with where you can just drop your own pictures in. But if you want to create something really creative, there are a number of apps that are free that you can do that on your phone, and then just save it on your phone and drop it on the card. And
then for Don, how do you find the addresses? Is very simple, especially because it's holiday season. All I do is I say, oh my gosh, can you believe it? It's holiday time already. I'm updating my contacts. What's your address? And people that are strangers, and this might be different for men, right? But people that are strangers will send me their address. No, I mean, I'm telling you, people would just say, when you give them a reason, there's actually some science behind this. When you give people, because I'm doing this, I need this, they will actually give you information that they wouldn't have otherwise given. If you make it normal and natural, it's not going to sound weird, unless you have the weird energy, but then you might be surprised. Mary's laughing. It's true. Look, people, they're like, how did you get addresses? I'm like, I asked. How did I get on stage with two billionaires? I asked.
Maria, I love you. I've been teaching school for 33 years, so I get the weird energy thing. I taught middle school. It's just so funny how you said it. That's all.
Yes. So are there any, because I don't want to hold Jordan back if there's no more questions for Jordan. Natalie, do you have questions?
You couldn't unmute for some reason. Yeah, she's not able to unmute.
Yeah.
What did she's saying here? Something here.
Can you guys hear me?
Esmeralda, yes.
I agree. Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
Esmeralda is a hotshot real estate attorney, real estate agent. Broker.
Hi,
I'm a
Esmeralda.
real estate broker. Hi, and I'm excited for this product. I signed up last week, and I'm getting ready to get
Good.
started with it. But I can't wait to see what it's going to bring, what it's going to do.
Yeah, Esmeralda, I speak at a lot of real estate conferences. Almost monthly, I'm at a real estate conference. I just did one for 300 realtors in Scottsdale. And this is like such a perfect business tool. You could take a picture of them and it's a really nice gift. We have gifts that are up to a few hundred, closing that are $5. Really nice that are a little bit cooler than just a wine or a plant, whatever,
Is everybody able to hear Jordan, or is it okay? Jordan, you're cutting out big time.
Oh, I wonder if my headset. Hang on.
Yeah, you're totally cutting out now.
There we go. Is that any better? Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you got to start all over again.
Yes, and your head is adorable.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Okay. Well, hey, listen, if you have any questions that we didn't get answered here, or you want to keep it more private, send it over to Maria. And if you need me, you have my cell number if you need me for anything. And I'm working very closely with Maria, and looking forward to, doing some more of these if you've got people that you want to introduce this to. And also we can do some training as well.
Jordan, before you go, can you answer Rhonda? But before you answer Rhonda, can you repeat what you were saying about real estate, because that was really important, and there's some people that are here that are real estate, and I would love to hear that again, because when you started talking about the real estate, your sound went off.
Okay, yeah. So this is a perfect tool for people in the real estate profession. I do at least once a month, I do a presentation for a large group, small and large groups of realtors. I just did one with 300 people in Scottsdale, all realtors and the real estate profession. I actually have so many stories as well. We've written the books that have been written about us. There's stories about realtors that have used send out cards and created. I've got a couple. I'll tell you real quick. One guy sent a card to 100 homes around a home that he had listed. And he just told personalized. Every card is personalized because you can do it that way. You can have it insert their name. And he knew their addresses because they were right in the same neighborhood. He sent a card to everybody saying that he had a home for sale in their neighborhood. So if they knew anybody that was interested, well, he did this twice, and both homes sold immediately as a result of the card. And so it cost him a couple $100, and he made, I don't know, $16,000 in commission, something like that. And then Gail and Steve Zintek, they were at a catering event at a Chamber of Commerce, and they took pictures of the food and of the caterers and picked up their business card off the table, and it had their address on it. And she sent him a thank you card. And on the back of the card was her real estate brand. And so she sent him a thank you card with pictures of the catering and them. And turned out they were looking to sell their home, and they didn't have a realtor. They contacted her. Well, she has sold 8 homes within that family, to kids, to referrals, as a result of that relationship. And I think her total checks are definitely over $100,000 from that one relationship that was created as a result of sending the card at the Chamber of Commerce. Incredible. So it's a great, super powerful tool for realtors.
Rhonda, Rhonda, your question, I'm assuming, is for Jordan, right?
Yes. So I wanted to know. Hi. So I'm with Daily Pay, and so we would send cards. I want to be clear on who we send cards to, and of course, people that purchase, we could send them a card, and then you're saying that we can also send other people cards that we just know. I'm just wondering.
So Rhonda,
how we.
Yeah. Let me answer your question. So first, yes, thank you cards are important. And then maybe a holiday card to those same people. You want to keep yourself top of mind with the people that are in your network. You never know where your next referral is going to come from. And you're probably on social media. So you have friends and people that you're connected to on social media. Over time, you collect their addresses and put them into your contacts and send them a card, so that it builds your relationship capital. It takes your relationship to a new level with them. so that, and then you can put your brand on the back of the card so they know what you do, but keep the cards as much as possible, keep the cards personal. And yeah, and then that's her brand. That's Maria's brand on the back of her card. So it helps to increase your branding visibility, and it helps to, it's like Joe Girard. The reason he got so many car sales by referral, 6 a day. He was selling 6 cars a day. These people weren't coming to the dealership to be sold. They were coming to the dealership to buy. Like they were ready to buy because they knew Joe and they trusted Joe. So over time, as an entrepreneur, if you build up that relationship capital over the next couple of years, build a contact, like a Rolodex, build a contact manager of a few hundred people, and then build strong relationships with those people. They'll refer people to you. Some of them will come back to you and do business. People will do business with you again. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jordan. As always, you've been amazing. Thank you for the training, and thank you for your time. And I won't hold you back because I think the rest of the questions are more daily pay affiliate marketing kind of questions. So then you don't have to stay back with us.
Nice to meet all of you. Thank you for hanging with us for an hour. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks, Maria. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yes. Jess, my Mexican just came out. Jess. Okay, Rhonda, let me answer that a little bit better, because so Jordan has nothing to do with daily pay, and he has no idea how we work, how the magic of daily pay and the magic of what we do. So for Meta that came in late, or anybody else that came in late, so when you might be able to relate to this. When I was doing 2 lives a day, when I was doing all the things that we're encouraged to do with our daily pay business, I was making a good income. But during August, I went through a transition and I wasn't able to go, or I decided not to go live every day. And then I need to take care of other things for my team and my clients, not my team, my clients, and other things that I needed to take responsibility for. During the month of August, I got seriously financially affected because I was not putting all the time that I was used to putting on my daily pay. Well, guess what happened? If you sell daily pay, you get paid. If you sell daily pay, you get paid. If you don't sell daily pay, you don't get paid. You get jacked, right? You get this many. Do you see this? Can everybody see this? So for me, I didn't get 0. I'm not saying that I got 0, but my income, Esmeralda can relate to this. My income was very dependent on making sales, a one-off sales, right? So for me, what I realized was that my send.Cards business, which I had not touched in 6 months, because this was my mentality. When I start making the gazillions of dollars that I thought I was going to make, I was going to start going back and sending thank you notes to all the people that bought from me daily pay. Well, before I knew it, it was 4 months later. And then I had 2 months because I was moving. So I had not touched my send.Cards people for 6 months. But guess what? My residual check continued to come. So once you sell somebody daily pay, you can't sell them anything else. There's nothing else that, and then if they sell anything else, you don't benefit from anything else that they do. If anything, they're your competition. So when it comes to send.Cards, yes, you're not going to build it. Do not worry, Dean, everybody here, do not worry. You don't have to build it like multi-level marketing. But would you be opposed, Meta, if let's say that we invite Jimmy and Jimmy decides to also send holiday cards during the holidays, that you would actually get financial benefits from any work that Jimmy does? Would you hate me if you got money because of work that Jimmy did and you had nothing to do with it? Would you be okay with that?
With it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I thought so. So to answer your question, this and Rhonda, when it comes to who do you send this to, you send it to any humans. And here's what this is the secret that I was preparing for you, because this is not going to make sense for Jordan. That's why I didn't want to hold Jordan back. So there is the Alex Hormozi, as some of you have already gotten the gifts, right? There is the Alex Hormozi Rule 100. The Rule 100 says that if you do 100 reach outs for 100 reaches a day for 100 days, then you ought to be able to get to a 6-figure income with the, but, and then he stretches it, but I'm going to be very conservative. He says that you should be able to get to $100,000 a month. $100,000 a month. So I'm totally reducing that amount. And I'm saying, if all we do is that we promote, send out cards to clients, right? To clients. So we're gonna be using the Alex Hormozi, and all of you got the book for free. So do not worry. This is not going to cost you going buying a book. So you got the book for free. You got all the trainings for free that is going to also complement any digital marketing, because I know that there's some MRRs also here for the new MRR that was just released. So if you're doing MRR, if you're doing daily pay, or if you're doing any digital marketing or programs, this still complements all of that, because those programs still just pay you one time and never again. You can't sell someone 3 times daily pay. Does that make sense? Unless they bought the $50 one, right? If they don't, but you're not selling them again. You're just upgrading them to what they should have been to begin with. With send out cards, what you're going to be doing is that you're actually going to be able to offer something to the people that would not have bought from you. I have over 800 clients. I mean, over 800 leads in my daily pay system. So I've created, I'm in the middle of working a new funnel so that it complements this, so that you can put it integrated in the pockets of, and I'm not saying you go out and start promoting send out cards. If you're rocking it with daily pay and you're making the money that you want to be making with daily pay, or you're already on, like there's some people that are making, averaging about $4,000 to $5,000 a month with daily pay, stick with that. But on the back end, do what most digital marketers do. In the back end, you offer people other things, because people have not bought from you. And if you have over 800 or 1,000 or whatever number of leads you have, you can offer them something. And this is just for an exchange. Listen, this has been proven that if you've been offering something to buy for $600, and you say, by the way, you can start making passive residual income for $20. You know how many people say yes? It's a huge number. It's a huge number. And you make the proposition one time, and then you invite them to events like this that I'm going to continue holding. Because for me, what I realized is that I'm going to tell you a brief story. In 2021, my dad got real sick. My dad got real sick. And I don't know if you've ever had, well, Meta can relate to this. I was in and out of the hospital. We didn't know what was going to happen with my dad. And when you're in and out of the hospital, your schedule is not in your control. When you can talk to people, it's not within your control, because there's sometimes that there's crazy things that are happening and you cannot control what's going to happen. So unfortunately with me, in June of 2021, my dad went to heaven. Well, I don't know if you've ever dealt with grief, but I was not in a position to start making calls. And at that time, I was a full-on network marketer. And Dean can relate to this, right? Me being able to call people, they would ask, hey, how are your parents? Oh my gosh, I would have to hang up. Or, nobody wants to get a sales call and then somebody started talking about their grief or their loss or anything like that, right? So I decided at that time that I wanted to build an online marketing business. And I didn't really know about digital marketing and affiliate marketing. So when I found daily pay, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm looking for. But what I realized, for me, this is just for me, right? For me, before I knew it, I was having to go to do daily lives every day. And then when I got hit in August, I realized, what if I just want to take a break for a week? What if I want to take a break for 2 weeks, right? I don't want to have to go live if I don't have to. That's just for me. I know many of you absolutely love going live, but for me, because I experienced grief of my dad, I knew that at some point in my life, I was not going to want to go live on a daily basis if I'm dealing with something heavy. So for me, I decided that I wanted to use my daily pay. And here's the magic, okay? Here's the magic, that I'm going to use my daily pay to offer send out cards. And for people that don't have send out cards, guess what they need? Daily pay. Because they're going to need to know how to promote, because most people, just like all of you, do not prefer multi-level marketing. They don't want to go call all their friends and family. They don't want to go make a list. They don't want to go to an event. They don't want to do all the traditional ways. So I do know how to do daily pay. So a lot of you are here because you got my email. So with that being said, what I'm offering you today is one, go, I mean, it's $20, right? Make some people happy. Don't put any heavy load. I mean, you just spend $20. You just send some happy mail to 10 people, right? Just send happy mail to 10 people. Don't put a whole bunch of weight that, they're going to buy my daily pay, or they're going to, or they're going to, oh my gosh, you're going to be so grateful that I send them a card. No, don't be that weirdo, right? It just makes it really heavy. But if you send a card, people would literally, true story, right? A videographer that has tens of thousands of followers literally made a video about the card that I sent to him. People will literally make posts about a card that you sent to them for the loss of their loved one. People will make a post if you send them at a time that they needed to hear from somebody. So you never know when you're going to, I know some of you that you had proposed daily pay for some people that you actually personally knew and they were on the fence. Well, what if you just send them a card? I was just thinking about you. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm here if you ever need anything, right? Not salesy, not promoting. So you get to send 10 cards all around the world, so I can send a card to Dean. I can send a card to Dean and it's not going to cost me any more than it would cost me in the United States. I can send a card to the people that I have in Fiji. I don't know if my Fiji person is here. Anybody in the world, I can send a card for the exact same $20. So you'll get access to those 10 cards. You get access to a back office. You get access to everything, and you actually have a almost 2-decade customer service business that you can call with any questions or anything like that. So questions before we wrap this up, because we've gone way over now. Any questions from anybody? No? Maida? No? Okay, perfect.
I couldn't talk earlier because I didn't have access to my darn thing, and I made my daughter just do it just now. Well, they're moving tomorrow, and I'm sorry. So we were crying, all kinds of emotional stuff going on over here because they're going to Idaho. Cards. So I'm like, oh, yeah. So I told her about it. So she might end up doing this with me. So I'm excited, but I want to do the affiliate side, of course, but, and I just need to figure out exactly how, because I'm a very hands-on learner. Mm-hmm. So I'm still trying to figure out how to even send it to people to where they can sign up under me. Because I'm afraid like a lot of people don't pay attention, so if I send them your stuff, they're going to sign up under you, because they don't pay attention.
This actually makes it very easy. So you and I can talk offline.
I got a base. Hold on.
I can talk with you offline and walk you through it. It's really simple. Okay.
If I can do it with this little guy, then anybody can do it, right?
Exactly. So any other questions from anybody else? Yeah, Natalie, you and I can talk offline.
I'm going to mute myself.
Jeremy, I have an emergency call. Okay, got it. Anyone else? Questions, Rhonda? Does that answer everything? Go ahead, Rhonda.
So once we send the card, then we're more or less kind of promoting daily pay in there with a little blurb without being too salesy.
You can promote whatever you want. You can promote, but you want to do it in a classy way, right? You want to just do it on the back in a very subtle way. Because if you send a card promoting something, then the person is going to receive it and they're going to feel like they just got something like this, right? So you got to do it without, you got to do it because we call it a prompting. You got to nudge to reach, like maybe you got a nudge to reach out to Don and you send Don a card. So don't send cards just for the purpose of promoting something, because that really defeats the purpose of having a heartfelt card. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do it without a hidden agenda. Just do it because you had a nudge. If you're a faith believer, then because God told you to send a card and you were thinking about somebody. If the minute that you make it into I want something out of it, the energy that goes with this card will be total. And I'm telling you this because at the beginning when I first started doing send out cards, I sent out hundreds of cards because I'm a ninja. When I start doing something, I just go all in. And I thought that if I just sent enough cards and I put my face real big on the back, right, that if I put it like this, people were all going to be signing. No, I have to send cards for the sake of just being genuine, right? Just for the sake of being genuine. And then just the law of how do you say that word? Reciprocity? How do you say it? Reciprocity?
Reciprocity.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
Reciprocity.
Yeah.
Reciprocity. Yeah, reciprocity. So the law of reciprocity comes back to you. It may not be the person that you sent it to. It might be somebody else. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question, Rhonda? Because that's a great question.
Yes. And also, do we promote the send cards on our within our videos on Daily Pay?
So I do, but I want to build a residual income with send out cards myself. So that if you have a solid check with Daily Pay, I would just do what the Alex Hormozi way says. Stick to what when you're addressing a video or lives, stick to the same thing that you've been doing. If you're making thousands, stick to that, and then just send emails about that. Does that make sense? Have an email that goes out for that specific purpose without meshing the two, because if you mesh the two, a confused mind does nothing. If you give a person two choices, it's like giving a GPS two choices and it'll go to none. Ms. Meita.
So are these like printed cards that you're sending out to people?
Yeah.
So do we have to send to our email list and ask for their mailing address, or?
So you don't just send to all your email address, and you have to personalize it, right? You have to personalize it. So you're gonna send cards to people that you know, right?
Okay.
For people, this is not send physical cards to your email list. No.
That's what I thought. I was like,
oh no. I'm so sorry. No. I'm so glad that you asked. No, you do not want to send a card to every human that you know. That would be silly.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, someone like Jordan can afford to do that because he's a multimillionaire. I mean, he now probably averages over $1 million for sending cards residually, right? Over $1 million a year. Because the first year, obviously he wasn't making $1 million the first year. So you build it up. So if he's made $17 million in 18 years, you do the math. And I kind of know him, so that I know. So like, for instance, if you know anybody, if you know an attorney, or if you know a real estate agent, sometimes real estate agents and attorneys, they don't actually get how Daily Pay would work for them, because Daily Pay talks a lot about how to promote the actual product versus actually promoting it for a business. So what I love about send out cards is that it allows an attorney, a real estate agent, to be able to get the power of just staying in touch. And then once you have this, then you can say, oh, by the way, if you want a simpler, easier way to reach out to, go ahead.
So this would be perfect for Digital Growth Monthly then.
Yes, if you have access to digital growth networking, yes, this would be out.
Because I have not been promoting that much yet because I don't know enough about it yet. And I do have a lot of businesses around me. I mean, I actually have 2 dentist offices like in my front yard. And
so this is very different than the digital growth, right? Because the digital growth, and I'm not in the community anymore, so I'm not really sure as to what's going on inside it, but this is very different than digital growth, because the digital growth, so this is very clear. Nobody has, for over 2,000 years, people have sent letters, right? If I tell you, mate, that should you send a sympathy card, you're not gonna, hopefully you're not gonna say no, right? When it comes to sending cards, you don't have to teach people the importance of sending cards. When it comes to the community that you're referring to, for those that are not familiar with what she's talking about, it's a whole different, it's a whole different program and a whole different service. So
right, but this would be a good way to promote that if you're sending like Christmas cards out to businesses.
I think so.
Yeah, we can talk offline about that. Because again, you don't want your card to be promoting. You don't want your
right. I know, but you could send out a Christmas card and then put the little blurb on the back.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and you could put the blurb about, instead of just daily pay, you could put it about the digital growth community, and that would be great. If you're going to send it to businesses, that would probably be the best way to promote the digital growth community and not just daily pay, because they might not get the daily pay as much.
Well, and one thing that I would suggest, and again, we can talk offline, what I would suggest instead, because they're receiving a card, and that makes total sense, right? Receiving a card, nobody has to explain what sending a card or receiving a card means. So if you promote send out cards on the back of the card, then you have access to them to come to you, and then you can actually have a conversation about any other products or service that you want to promote. Does that make sense? So instead of promoting something that they're going to be like, like that doesn't I don't understand what that is, right? And they're going to have to really unpack. So if people have a lot of questions about what it means, it's not an easy. So for people to say, hey, do you want to send 10 cards for $20? It's an easy yes. But now they're in your system.
Maria,
right?
hold the back of your card really close to the screen, because people want to take a snip of it. They want to be able to like the one where you have your advertisement.
Oh,
so yeah, they all really want to get a snip of that.
Thank you.
The back, like
this one. Oh, mine?
Yeah, the one where it says Maria. Yeah, like a little bit lower. Okay.
Then.
Everybody's wanted to see it so that they kind of had a clue what you were doing on the back of it. And the little QR code at the very bottom is your QR code, correct, Maria?
It goes to send out cards, which gets you back into your deal. But I actually suggest putting your own QR code, because it depends what you're trying to promote. So the only thing that I'm promoting, because you get a $10 commission immediately, the only thing that I'm promoting, because it's a no-brainer. Sending 10 cards for $20 is a no-brainer. If you go into explaining send out cards or anything else, it's more complex. So the more that people have to think, right? And this is what I was going to say. So, and then we'll wrap it up with this. What I was going to say, when I realized, I was talking to a 10x millionaire last night. He grew his company in 4 years to $1 billion company from scratch. That's insane. And he's the author of The Slight Edge. I'm not going to say who he is, but if you know who he is, then you know who he is. So last night I was talking to him, and I was telling him what I needed to have my numbers for my residual income to be what I wanted. And what he said was insanely amazing. And that's why I realized that making $9,000 by December with the send out cards program, meaning the $20 program, with the Alex Hormozi 100, the Rule 100, is very doable. Because what he says, Maria, focus on just clients. And this is why. Because if I ask someone to do daily pay, they're going to ask a million questions in their head, right? Before they can answer something, they're going to be like, can I do that? Is it hard? Am I going to have to be seen? Are people going to make fun of me? Are people there's all this, there's stuff that goes behind the scenes that people don't even realize that they're going through. When I tell somebody about send out cards, all the things that we have, and that we have programs that they can be on a monthly program, it's too many questions. Do I really want to commit, right? And then if they're having to ask the committal question, they're going to say no, because it's easier to say no than have to think about that. But when I tell somebody, and I've been testing it since I started September, if I tell you, hey, Dawn, I have this program, you can send out 10 cards for $20, and you're just going to send cards to people that you feel nudged to send some encouragement. Maybe you are thinking of someone, maybe you want to send something to your grandkids, maybe you want to send something to your your stepchildren, the one that is just going to get married. Maybe this would be an encouraging marry. Maybe you want to send your 10 cards to all of the teachers at your school. Esmeralda, maybe you want to send cards to all of the real estate agents that you've been working with, right? It's only $20 and you only have to spend it one time. There's no commitment, there's nothing else. And it's all done through the phone on an app. And let me show you real quick. It is all done through this app right here. If you can see it, right? Let me make it dark. It's all done through this app right here. So when I click on it, I open the app, and then there it is. I can send cards by just doing that. And then I can go to my cards and I can have cards that I've already started working on. And then within minutes, I can send a personalized card like the one that my buddy, criminal law attorney, sent for his holiday season. So when the program, that the challenge that I'm putting together, so it's 9,000 to December, 9,000 to December. So this is not a get rich quick. This is not a make a gazillion dollars fast. This is build it. And by December, with the challenge that I have, with the program that I have with Alex Hormozi that you all got for free, then you will be able, if you utilize the power of the 10 card challenge and make $10 per person. Remember, all of that is going to be residually, because most people, once they get the bug of sending cards and what people say to them when they get a card, then they're going to be able to actually stay and upgrade to the next level of cards. So you'll be making more money, and by the time that the holidays come, you'll be making even more money because of the upgrades that they make, because of they're gonna send, like for instance, this attorney, he sent, I think, over 500 cards for Christmas. I mean, for the holiday season, because he's Jewish. That's why I keep correcting myself. So there is a lot of money that can be made, but this is residual income that will complement anything else that you're already doing.
And so that's the beauty of it, because if you
yes.
have, and that's the beauty of it, because if you have clients or past clients that they had over 1,000 for Christmas, send them out thank you cards or just a Christmas card, they're gonna remember you, and they're gonna, because 2 years, oh my gosh, let's get back with her, and depending on the business. So I'm excited for it. Do you think maybe we can have a training on it or something like that?
Of course.
That is
and that's the beauty of it. Everything is already done on the company's been around for almost 20 years. So all the trainings are already inside your back office. Okay. So what you have to do, if you just send me a text, I'll send you all the trainings, because I have an email that tells you, okay, if you want to do this, and then there's actual trainings for specifically for real estate agents, because we have so many real estate agents. But that's a great question. Yeah. Don, awesome. Do you have a question? Oh, okay, perfect. So any other questions before we close off?
I just want to say thank you, Maria.
Oh, thank you, Mikey. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, it took it's until I start feeling better, but I'm going to watch. It's recorded, right?
Yes, it's recorded. So yeah. It's going to be released for those that were here. I'm still not sure that I'm going to release it to the whole, to everybody, but it's going to be released to all of those who were here, because I know some of you, like Paul, he was in and out. So yeah, it'll be released for those of you who RSVP for sure.
Yeah, because that's
and then make sure, don't forget to go look at the code. I'm going to send you the code again. So that you can go ahead. It's $20, right? It's $20. The worst thing that you're going to do is that you're going to send some happy letters, and some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, Mayta, you make me feel so special. Right? So just send, just take me up on this. And then if you decide that you do want to look into more about how to make 9,000 by December, then just message me on any platform or email me on the email, and then I'll be happy to show you the step-by-step, because now we've gone way over. So with that, have an amazing Sunday. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks.